final time this season. The #1 seed in the East, the Indiana Pacers, have been pushed to the brink by the 8th seed Milwaukee Bucks. This series has come down to a 5th and final game, with the winner advancing to face Philadelphia in the conference semifinals. And we welcome you. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with the Czar. Mike Fratello will be joined in a moment by Cheryl Miller. This is an exciting 24-hour stretch for TNT. Tonight, the first of 3 Game 5 showdowns. Coming up, the Bucks and the Pacers. Then tomorrow night in a doubleheader starting at 8 Eastern Time, Game 5 between Seattle and Utah, followed by the 5th and deciding game between the Kings and the Lakers. As for the Pacers and the Bucks, suddenly fingers are being pointed in the Indiana camp. Larry Bird coming out following Game 4 and the critical of Jalen Rose, saying that Rose was pouting, got off to the poor start. Reggie Miller lashing out of the bench. Travis Best saying that many of the points scored by the Bucks bench came against the starters. People taking shots at Rick Smits. What effect, if at all, will this have on tonight's game?
As far as Bird's statements, this is nothing unusual. He's been consistent the entire season. If a player plays well, he says it. If a guy has a bad game, he says it. And the players are used to it. He's very consistent with them day in and day out. Now, the players' comments, a bit unusual for this veteran group. They've been together for a long time, played a number of games in the playoffs, have gone deep into the playoffs. So to see those statements now makes you wonder a little bit. As Larry Bird said today, this probably is good for us. It's been simmering over the last week. I'm glad we got it out. I wouldn't want it every day, but it's over and done with now. Just like a win tonight and moving on to the second round would make the team put it all behind them. And one other thing, keep in mind, in bounce-back games this year against teams they had previously lost to, the Pacers are 19-0, trying to make it 20 tonight.
All right, so the story of this series, though, has been the remarkable shooting by the Milwaukee Bucks, in particular in the first half. And George Karl was telling us earlier, this the direct result of the good ball movement.
Well, whether it's the big 3 for the starters, and I'm talking about their backcourt of Ray Allen and Sam Cassell, along with Glenn Robinson up front, or the big 3 coming off the bench, Vinny Del Negro, Scott Williams, and Tim Thomas, they have been on fire the last 3 games, particularly in the first half. When you look at some of the numbers that they have produced at that time, 61 points, they've averaged a differential of 19, shooting over 60% with 16-6. In Game 2, Game 4, it was just too much for the Pacers to overcome. In Game 3, down 12 points in the third quarter, somehow the Pacers found a way to bounce back and steal that game. So I'm sure tonight the Pacers will try to come out and stop the Bucks from jumping to early leads. That could be the difference here.
All right, so just ahead, it's the 5th and deciding game between the Bucks and the Pacers. We'll be back in a moment with the introduction of the starting lineups.
Looking for Miller. Reggie's got it. He shoots. It's simply unbelievable. All right, Pacers fans, are you ready? Let's go. Get on your feet. Get loud. It's time for Pacers basketball. Let's hear it for your back-to-back Central Division champion and first time ever regular season Eastern Conference champions, your Indiana Pacers. And now here's tonight's starting lineup for your Pacers at 1 forward. Number 32, Dale Davis. At the other forward, number 5, Jalen Rose. At center, number 45, Rick Smits. Starting at 1 guard, number 13, Paul Jackson. And to the other guard, number 31,
Closing in on the 5th and final game of this first round playoff series. The Pacers and the Bucks looking to advance to the second round. We'll have it in a moment.
Hi, I'm testing this.
Ready to go. A look at tonight's Gatorade starting lineups for the Indiana Pacers. Rick Smits is back as the starter. He was suspended the one game, and then Larry Bird decided to stay with Austin Crozier in the lineup in game number 4. Did not work out for the Pacers. Smits is back, and so is Cheryl Miller. Let's check in with Cheryl.
Thanks a lot, Marvel. George Karl, who is the master of motivation, put together a highlight reel, the 1994 playoff game between his former team, the Seattle Sonics, and the Denver Nuggets. Well, the Denver Nuggets went on to win a critical Game 5 and become the first number 8 seed to beat a number 1 seed. He showed it to his team before the game, and his message was very simple. If it happened then, why not now? Why not us? Marv?
All right, Cheryl. George Karl also read passages from Pete Axtell's terrific book from many years ago entitled The City Game to try and inspire his team in this 5th and deciding game. Darvin Ham is fouled. The officials, Joe Crawford, Steve Javie, and Ed F. Rush. So Ham, who is not a good free throw shooter, will go to the line. Foul committed by Smits.
Ham just 2 for 7 in the playoffs thus far, shooting 28%, but that one looks pretty good coming out of his hand.
Darvin Ham, though, has played well. Not a guy who will show up in the statistics, but keeps balls alive, hustles, block shots. Mark Jackson moves it across. Indiana Pacers hoping for some energy, something they did not see in game 4 in Milwaukee. They try to get Smits going early. Smits, well, he looked to go to his left, but Irvin Johnson was there and then went right.
Had nowhere to go. He knew the 3-second count was in effect right there. He had to get a shot up somehow, so he winds up coming back with his left hand.
Here's Ray Allen for 3.
Well, you can see Ray Allen's mentality. The last 2 games, Indiana has gone underneath pick and rolls with the defender on the ball. One thing you have to do is stop, pull up, and shoot jump shots. Move your screens down low if you can. Make it a shorter shot than normal. And right now, Ray Allen knocks the first one out.
And Ray Allen still bothered by that knee sprain that was suffered a couple of weeks back in Orlando. Dale Davis. So the game is tied at 4.
And something that Indiana has said for the last 2 days, we need some sort of inside presence. 1 basket by Smits, 1 basket by Davis inside the paint area.
Game 4 on Monday night as Cassell is able to knock it down. Bucks beat the Pacers 100-87, led by as many as 31 as they did here in game 2. And the Bucks came out, hit 11 of their first 14 from the field. Reggie Miller, who got off quickly the other night in Milwaukee and then, for some reason, was out of the offense.
Well, he wound up hitting 4 out of his first 5 shots as Ham winds up taking the pass. A little late transition that time by Cassell. Get as deep as you can, explore the defense, see if there's anything there. He found his teammate for the dunk.
And Sam Cassell has been doing an excellent job as a setup guy. 13 assists the other night, 12 the previous game, 13 a playoff career high. Foul was called on Johnson.
He gets into the lane area, which is one of the keys for the Pacers. Keep him out of the lane, finds Ham. Ham finishes way above the rim.
In contrast to what we heard in Milwaukee with the crowd, as Allen picks off the bad pass from Smith. Allen challenging Miller. Ray Allen off the steal, and the Bucks lead at 10-6. As I started to say, the crowd in Milwaukee was going at a fever pitch right from the start. And what a problem here in Indianapolis. The crowd level has not been what it was at the former arena, Market Square, and they're very quiet right now.
What do you think about the 3 keys, Marv, as Reggie drives inside the lane and this is the layup attempt? But it's counted. Joe Crawford calls goaltending. 3 keys for Indiana tonight. Stop Milwaukee transition, fast breaks. Stop penetration off the dribble and contest their perimeter shots. Well, already we've seen 2 of those be a problem. Transition, penetration.
Bucks with a 10-8 lead, and as Cassell puts the move on, a foul is called. Holding foul on Jackson. Indiana with their second team foul. For the Milwaukee Bucks, their first deciding game 5 in 11 years. Pacers have played in the final game of a 5-game or 7-game series. A total of 6 times. They're only 1-5 in that department. Jackson leaving it for Smits. So Rick Smits has tied it at 10.
That's huge for Indiana that Smits has gotten off to a pretty good start. He's hit a jumper from the perimeter. Now we'll see if they go back to their pick and roll game using Smits, but they'd like to step him back on the baseline for the jumpers.
Allen fortunate to get it over to Robinson, who was able to beat his man off the dribble.
Well, Dale Davis, stood there. He's on the other side of the lane. It was too late for him to come across. It would have been another foul there inside, so he basically just gave that one up.
Now the Pacers have come out and have hit all 5 of their shot attempts. That's the first miss. Here comes Cassell. Cassell reverses, but can't hit.
And you see Cassell probing. Get as much as you can, as deep as you can. Then if you don't like it, bring it back out.
Miller trying to rub off Allen, looking to draw the foul, but Allen stepped away. Cassell on the penetration. Sam Cassell had a couple of good opportunities. Here's Jackson to Miller. Yes, and it counts. The foul committed by Allen.
And you can see Cassell's disgusted with himself. He had 2 layup opportunities, and that one winds up being a 5-point swing potentially. No layup, leads to transition. Here comes Jackson, the late drop-off pass, and now Allen tries to get away from Miller, runs underneath him. Could be potentially a big 5-point swing here in the game.
Reggie Miller in game 4, 5 for 9, 15 points. Got off to the quick start, then just could not locate shots. He was out of the offense. As we discussed the other night, though, Rick Smits, by coming off the bench, may have disrupted the situation because Larry Bird looks to get him involved, and Reggie did not see the basketball. Here's Allen with a beautiful touch, so he has 7 points.
As you mentioned, going back to that game, there was uncertainty. Was he going to start, not start Smits in the game? And then when Smits came in, it was like everybody knew was supposed to try and get Rick involved. So everybody else stood around, and Rick couldn't get it going. It kind of disrupted everything offensively for the Pacers.
Jackson, Miller on the tip. Jackson tried to save it, and it's touched by a hand. It will be Indiana ball.
Here are those big fellas for the Pacers. You got Reggie Miller and Mark Jackson crashing the offensive boards.
Pacers have the new 24. Miller wasting no time. Bucks with the ball and a 1-point lead. We played 5 minutes. Robinson. And George Karl has to be concerned. A number of layups missed here in the early going by his ball club.
Well, you take those 3 shots and you can figure out how they've been shooting 61% for the last 3 games in the first half. But they're not making them tonight, whereas they were all going in for them in the last 3 games.
Big dog Robinson blocked by Jalen Rose. Glenn Robinson, who grew up in Gary, Indiana, a folk hero of the state of Indiana, starring at Gary Roosevelt High School and then at Purdue University. Timeout is called.
You spent your entire career here as a Pacer.
Mm-hmm.
If things, like you said, I know you don't want to talk about it, but do you think that this could be your last game as a Pacer?
I got a game 5 tonight, Cheryl. I'm worried about Ray Allen and pick and rolls. That's all I got on my mind. I'm not worried about where I'm going to be.
So I don't know that. I think that's unacceptable. Reggie a little bit on the testy side with Sister Cheryl. Cheryl, I wouldn't accept that.
Mara, first of all I have to say is I know what I'm getting for Christmas this season, another pair of slippers because of that interview. Absolutely. He was testy on that.
Not looking to reveal information to Sister Cheryl.
I kind of like his answer.
Yes, you would. Bucks up 14-13. Dale Davis has given the Pacers a 1-point lead. 6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this opening quarter. Cassell, no tightly by Jackson. Robinson with the shot clock running down. So this is the 6th lead change of this first quarter, and Glenn Robinson continues to get off to good starts. He had 12 points first quarter the other night.
Nice job of execution that time by the Bucks. That was the third option. No high pick and roll for Allen. No baseline screen open. And the screen down at the end got Robinson open.
Mark Jackson unleashed the 3. We get a whistle. And the foul on Cassell. Call away from the ball. That's the first on Sam. And team foul number 3 called on Milwaukee. This has been a series of rough play, suspension, a couple of ejections. They've noticed the bandage over the eye of Ray Allen, could force stitches. Reggie Miller taking it to the rim. 9 points to Miller. Ray Allen left the game the other night in the third quarter after sustaining a gash over his right eye that required stitches, taking an elbow from Jalen Rose. Here's Allen wide open, not able to hit it from downtown. Davis from Rose and a foul.
You see the ball going inside to Indiana, something that they want to establish. And believe me, at the other end of it, George Karl is telling his team one thing he does not want to give up is 3-point shots in this building. He said not only does it get the crowd totally involved, it pumps the team up. So he wants to stay at home with the perimeter people. So far, the big people inside are being able to take advantage of it. They're getting to the front of the rim. Now, if this keeps up, you're going to see Milwaukee have to come back, start doubling down, and that will open up the perimeter people.
Like Indiana, 0 for 13 from the 3-point line on Monday night. This is a club that has hit at least one 3-pointer every game of the season.
Highly unusual. Obviously, one of the top 3-point shooting teams in the entire NBA. In fact, the #1 3-point shoot, over 39% this year from the 3-point line for Indiana.
Pacers by 2 with just under 5 remaining in the first quarter. Had it poked away by Rose. Talking with George Karl earlier today, he was looking for his club to come out loose. He wanted them not cocky, but confident. He said that's what you need to win on the road, particularly at a 5th and deciding game. Tim Thomas, who had just checked in, coughed it up. Miller met by Robinson. Deflected out by the Bucks.
The guy that was open was Dale Davis that time. As Reggie Miller got to the middle of the floor, it was Davis's defensive player that closed the lane down. The pass right back to the baseline would have had Davis wide open.
Shot clock at 6. Rose. Miller for 3. So that breaks the streak. The Indiana Pacers, after going 0 for 13 from downtown, get on the board with a 3-pointer. Glenn Robinson right back.
And you can hear the crowd, the way they responded. It's the one thing that Karl did not want to have happen was leave the people open at the 3-point line. They got it. Here's the play they went back to in game number 3. A little 1-2, point guard, 2-guard, pick and roll. Trying to force the switch. If Miller shoots over the top of Cassell, one thing, or else he can go back to Jackson.
Reggie Miller has opened up on fire. He has 12 points. Cassell, 21-20. Pacers by 1.
One thing about this Bucks team, they have guys who can make shots, and when they all are making them at the same time, as Indiana found out in games 2 and 4, a very, very difficult team to beat. You're always trying to catch up. They keep coming at you. Just when you get something going, they answer it with the basket.
Trying to keep it alive. One down by Cassell and a foul. Contact made by Smits. So for Rick Smits, it is his second.
Yeah, that's one that Larry Bird would rather not have him pick up like this. Smits goes to the bench and Austin Crozier enters the game.
Austin Crozier, who started the last 2 games, He was in the starting lineup when Spitz was suspended at one game. Here's Johnson. Nicely done. Set up by Cassell. Irvin Johnson with his first field goal. 6-0 run for the Bucks. And already that's assist number 4 for Cassell. It's Milwaukee by 1. Cassell pushing it down as the Pacers get back. Reaching foul charge to Jackson.
Well, you're going to need Travis Best on the floor soon. If Mark Jackson keeps getting beat off the dribble by Cassell, they're going to have to get somebody to get the ball under control.
Pacers go over the limit with that foul. All right, thank you, Ernie. Czar, I know you'll be logging on. Can't get you off the computer.
I'm relentless on the computer. It takes up so much of my time every day.
Sam Cassell giving the Bucks a 2-point lead with 2.5 remaining in this first quarter. Irvin Johnson, Tim Thomas, Glenn Robinson up front, Ray Allen, Sam Cassell in the backcourt. Travis Best has checked in for the first time, replacing Mark Jackson. So Best and Miller at the guards. Crozier with Davis and Rose up front, and Reggie Miller got the step.
And you can see Ray Allen look to his teammates, wondering who's supposed to be there. I'm forcing him one way off the dribble. He gets a good, quick first step, goes by me, but somebody's got to cover for me. Where's the rotation?
Miller has opened up with 15 points. Thomas, Johnson, Irvin Johnson. Good setup from Tim Thomas.
You associate dribble penetration with guards. That time, Tim Thomas at 6'10" winds up penetrating, kicking off for the layup.
So the Bucks have a 3-point lead. And the foul away from the ball. It's on Robinson, a second.
Allen expects someone to be there on the baseline. A quick first step. Reggie too quick. There to the rim before anybody can rotate, getting to him. And Irvin Johnson on the weak side realizes that's me that's supposed to be there protecting the rim. Feels bad, but too late.
Jalen Rose at the line. Robinson and Cassell sit down. Darvin Ham is back. Vinny Del Negro checks in for the first time. Vinny Del Negro, a factor off the bench. Got some good efforts along with Scott Williams and Tim Thomas.
Last time we were here, Vinny Del Negro, first 5 shots, makes all 5.
That was back in game 2 as the Bucks beat the Pacers here at Conseco. Their first playoff victory in 10 years. The last one previous had been against Chicago, May of '90, and it was their first road playoff win since May of '89 against the Atlanta Hawks.
Nice switch defensively, guard that time, switch, and then Crozier stepping up, takes away the front of the rim.
Derek McKee on the floor for the first time. Coming up on 1 minute remaining. In the first quarter, Bucks with the basketball, and they lead by 1. Marv Albert with his arm, Mike Fratello, Gerald Miller from Indianapolis. The winner goes on to face the Philadelphia 76ers in the second round. What a move by Tim Thomas.
A little hop step in there, split the baseline rotation, allowed Tim to get to the front of the rim.
So the Bucks lead by 3. Shot clock at 6. Miller on the pull-up. Half minute remaining, first quarter. Allen putting moves on Miller. Close the baseline. Del Negro eluding Best. Yes, Vinny Del Negro. 5-point lead for the Bucks. We're down to 20 seconds to go in the quarter. Crowd trying to get the Pacers going. Down to 10 seconds. Best setting it up. Best beating Del Negro. The tip was Best, and time runs out. But the Milwaukee Bucks continue to play with a great deal of confidence.
Well, I'm not sure how Indiana should feel. They're down 5, but when you go back to game 2, they were down 16. In game number 3, down only 3. In game 4, down 12 at the end of the first quarter. So they're right there if you look at it.
But they're the number 1 seed in the East against the number 8
They're
seed.
trying to survive tonight.
Throwing in the towel. Back with the second quarter in a moment.